engage in training media people and also providing consultancy services on communications media issues. Thank you very much for your time, Doc, and good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I am doing well. Two things I'd like you to do an assessment for me first. One, the questions that were asked. Two, the president's answers and responses. Not to the specifics, but the manner in which the answers were provided. What do you think?
Yeah, first and foremost, I give the president a thumbs up for talking to the media yesterday. You will recall that between 2013 and the time he left office in 2017 as president, he never met the press. So meeting the press yesterday, to me, was a no-brainer, and I congratulate the president for that. Now, coming to your question, the questions that were put to him by the media were succinct and on point. I never had any doubt, or I never had any feeling of negativity for any of the questions that were put to the president last night. And with the answers the president provided also show that the president is abreast with all that is happening. He is on top of the issues, and he answered them to the best of his ability. And so my assessment is that the questions were good. The answers were quite convincing. Not all of them do, but majority of answers he provided were convincing.
And I'll come to some of the answers that were not convincing for you. But let's take a step back, because you were talking about the first time he had opportunity to serve as president and what he's doing now. Now, how important are these engagements for the purpose of accountability, among others?
You see, these engagements are very important because it provides the citizenry the opportunity to listen to the man that they had given mandate of running this country to. So while the president speaks, he speaks on policy, and he speaks also as a citizen who is concerned, with the welfare of the people. So it's important that he talks to the people. In some jurisdictions, presidents give fortnightly address to the nation. Some do it weekly. Some even do it daily. Yes. So having done what he did yesterday, not only was he engaging the media, he was engaging the nation, because a lot of people hooked onto the various portals, both visual and radio, to listen to their commander-in-chief speak on issues that were of major concern to each and every one of us as a Ghanaian. So these engagements are very important. If the president will do this once every quarter, depending on the load of work on his desk, he can do it every quarter or half annually. Why not? I mean, it's in order, and it's very important.
Great. Now, having said that, you said there were answers that were not convincing for you.
Yeah.
Which of them?
Particularly the question about declaring state of emergency. The answer the president gave to the effect that they have not exhausted all the powers that were given to them as government to act, on this menace of galamsey. Now, Ghana Water, in a statement recently, stated that the turbidity of our water bodies is on the rise. What that means is that if the fight against galamsey for the past how many years was actually winning, if the fight was winning the war or whatever, the turbidity of the water should have improved by now. Because the dangerous chemicals that are, dumped in the water just because people have to clean the clay for gold and all that. If the turbidity were reducing, then we could see the fight is succeeding. But the turbidity is getting worse day by day. Now, reports from the major hospitals in the western and central regions indicate that cases of kidney disease are increasing exponentially. Maybe as a media practitioner, you could talk to the regional director of health of these two regions and then find out. You see, so it means the fight may be progressing, but it is not being felt on the ground. You will recall that my friend Dr. Togiedu had even suggested that a state of emergency should be declared and these illegal miners be shot on sight. If by their actions our compatriots are dying of kidney and internal organ diseases, what it means is that they are killing us. What do you do to them? If by the president's answer, they have not exhausted all the powers given them, then it means the powers that they are executing today are not being effective. If there are any other more serious powers to execute between now and the probability of declaring a state of emergency, then action must be speeded on that particular score. That is the point. That is the issue. Because apart from, I am even now told, we were thinking that the Volta is the only safe water body in this country. I am told that illegal mining is going on either in the black or white Volta up north. It's what do we do now? That is the point. What do we do now? When I came up at training college as a teacher in Koforidwa, I used to teach in a village close to the Densu River. We could drink Densu, we could just fetch the water and drink. Our forebears in the pre-colonial times, they were mining gold, but they were still drinking water from the river bodies. Why are people mining gold now and destroying the water bodies? That is the question. So the president might make sense, but it is not as convincing as some of us who want action taken so as to save. We are not going to try to save the future generation. The generation that is there today must be alive to leave something for the future. This is the only area that I think the president did not convince me. I am not saying that at all costs a state of emergency must be declared. But something more stringent than what is happening now must be put in place so that we can see that our water bodies that look more like chocolate will begin to see a reversal so that the fish or the aqua culture can be revived. you cannot fish in those waters anymore because the fish are dead. And that is the livelihood of some people who live along such water bodies. Even the farmlands, produce that come to us in the cities from the farming areas have been tested of cyanide and other dangerous chemicals. So who in this country is safe? No one. So I think that is where the president should come again, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, without a state of emergency, the president talked about the hundreds of excavators that have been seized, the champagnes that have been destroyed, other equipments that they keep seizing daily and destroying them, and how they've been able to recover forests that had been taken over by illegal miners. Is that not enough, perhaps, result to at least give them the benefit of the doubt?
It is the impact of the fight that is very important. The impact of the fight. You see, we it looks like we have not delineated the issue of galamsey very well. We say galamsey is illegal mining. There are people who have genuine license to mine who are also destroying the forest body. Not only galamsey. There are people who have mining concessions issued by the state agency responsible for such action, who are also destroying our water bodies and our forest belts. So it is not only galamsey that is destroying the ecosystem. Those with genuine license are also doing it. You see, those with genuine license are also doing it. So it is important what is the percentage of the forest cover that is restored. We need a statistics. Then we can speak to the statistics. You see, the most important thing is the impact of the fight. Let us see. Okay, the forest is being, but we are also being told by our friends in the media that once one forest area is taken over, the miners go deeper into the forest, and they even have armed guards protecting them. How do we fight that? Especially if the miners are armed. Are we going to use diplomacy to deal with guns? That is a question that needs address. The impact.
Well, and to conclude with you, there's a matter that was raised about the impact of social media nowadays. The president himself vividly recalls some of the things that were said for which people have been arrested. He says there's a need for some form of regulation of that particular space. Do you agree?
Yes, I do agree. I do agree. I don't know whether I monitored when, was it last year, June, when I addressed one of the anniversary encounters at home in the Volta region when I spoke on the GJA anniversary. You know, I indicated that the social media is a double-edged sword. And these are activities that are not regulated. But we have a culture as a people. We have norms as a people. We have traditions as a people. And some of these norms and traditions have been captured in some of our laws. Now, the fact that someone is free to just speak does not mean you should call your elder and insult him. You cannot use social media and insult your father. and go scot-free because you have free speech. You can insult the head of state. You can call a chief of a particular traditional area and pour invectives on him. And we allow this thing to go. We must enact laws that prohibit and punish such behavior so that social media can have some sanity. I heard somebody, say something yesterday to the effect that, social media is used to fund tribal sentiments. There are social media groups on Facebook, on TikTok and all that, who call certain tribes by names that you cannot even reproduce. The fact that social media happens to be free for all does not mean decorum must not be applied. So I believe that as a teacher of journalism and somebody who also teaches communication studies, I am minded by the type of thing we are communicating. It is true that somebody who will expose his or her, genitals on TikTok will make more money in a week than a journalist will make in a whole year. But should that be encouraged? No. Morality must also play a part. So the law must be applied, and morality must also be ensured. So I believe that there should be a legislation to regulate social media practices, so that people don't just get, because they have a mobile phone or iPhone or whatever they call them, and then begin to insult people in authority. It's not right. Otherwise, the country is just going to be a jungle. And is that what we are looking for as a people? I don't think so, Sana.
Doc, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Dr. Akorfa Segbefia is senior media consultant. I agree with the genitals part, but the backside that is shown there, that is why I go on social media. We all want to see things. Anyway, before we even go there, and we'll share that with you, Sean. Okay, so this is the president then responding to a question asked by Sadiq Adams on this matter of social media and how it is being used.
The last time the GJA came to me, I mentioned to them that as the world changes and new technologies come, we're moving from not having just the traditional media into having what we call the new media. These are all the new social media instruments like TikTok, like Facebook, like X, and all of them. And so the traditional sense of journalists like you, most of you trained and working in media houses that have a corporate identity and can be held responsible for the information that you put out, is beginning to change. We have a new crop of I'll call them neo-journalists, who anybody with a phone and a camera can report news or comments on national issues. Now the point is, who holds those people responsible? And that's what he's saying. If you go to some of the WhatsApp platforms, or you go to some of the commentaries in the TikToks and others, we have what we call hate speech, incitement to violence. Those are criminal. Despite the fact that we have removed the criminal libel laws, there are some laws that make such people accountable. Because if we don't regulate that sector, it can lead this nation to war. There are some of the incendiary statements that have been made in the Boko situation that are fueling some of what is happening there, making people hate each other and see each other as enemies. It's been the same in the Gonja Brefo thing. Some people fanning and inciting violence against each other. This falls in the ambit of the National Signals Bureau. And so the National Signals Bureau now has the technology to use your IP number and find you wherever you are. So I'm sending a signal to Ghanaians that we can find you those doing those hate speech and things. We'll use your IP number, we'll trace you. And when we trace you, we'll deal with you under the criminal code for inciting violence and disturbance of the peace. But I believe that beyond that, we must start making regulation for this new media because it's unregulated. And so anybody just takes a phone and says, oh, this plane crash, I wish that so-and-so had been the one in the helicopter and had died, and dwarfs have eaten him in the forest. I mean, why would you say something like that? And so we need regulation for that new emerging media. But in the meantime, the National Surveillance Bureau has been given the full authority to track down people who do that kind of thing and bring them to be sanctioned under the criminal code.
I enti so no koye koto airtime now bando 10 cities 20 cities na the phone si wanim na sebi udin semfo a emra no be emra no be do di nyon
they'll find you.
Aye.
That's the thing.
So who say
People underestimate the capacity of the state. It's just that sometimes the state does not act.
Aye.
Yes, but they can find you.
Oh yes.
To, yeah.
But I must say no crofo I for do. We say yeah we no. Regulations emraka ho.
Yes. That's why we are trained.
Yes.
I think the key reason for the training is so that they make clear to us the limits. What can you do? What can you do? Why can't you go this far? Okay. So the explanation is, why can I not say this? Why can I just not open my mouth and say that? It's all part of the training we'll go through before you come and sit here.
And I say, hey,
yeah.
As I now is Omaniama escalating. For swimming powder and natural herbal medicine, yes, the ama mema, timema, bema be a wire be and be CCU. Ama why for crowd obey bruni. I say when I'm in the baby bruni or dabi, obey sign for fro. Obi say yes, as I said, o ma me wo wane o hyase onyi an opabia homachi bia eno se kwakui ahodi wo mu saa obesan nya saa ahodi ne bi obema bi wo ho a wo so oni mi atenka o ho saa ono de no so wo ho obi wo ne de ne early ejaculation ana say weak erection ne bema ne mu ahodi enim saa ayemre wo nsaka fuso amen powder ne bia obenya saa ahodi no fuso amen powder no opabia to a Achimota St John CFC bus stop wa womo eben Ecobank na face Medina Kwenadepa Heba adjacent Medina Old Melcom Tema 4 Mumfu ne nchiremu Little George Health Shop Iwo Community 5 Kaswa for Modern Heba same building with Pharma Trust Pharmacy afi Accra Central so no Okanshi Draglin Thank You Pharmacy na Plaza Dynamo benye bi ato obetimi akwa be funtin tankese ne so www.fusuamenpowder.com anase phrase 0244 017 097 0244 017 097 and 0552 812 912 0552 812 912. Fusua Men Powder be in charge in the inner room.
Well, Dr. Jewapia will join me shortly. SM.
Yeah. Yo.
I'll see you around.
Mati.
Well, two things. Are you planning a corporate retreat or conference? Are you visiting Ghana as a tourist or returning home from the diaspora?